So I'm a bit biased because I'm a bit of a fan of a Palm Beach. They speak to me. Also, this particular one, hey mate, this particular one is the D13s with all the horses in the world. It'll do 40 knots. But you can also order them with shaft drives, which I'm a big fan of. Okay, let's go and have a look through here. So, nice uppy downy windows. Woo, very fancy. So you've got your nice little spot here. You can chat to your people out the back. Coming back through the salon, beautiful lighting, downlights. The galley is functional. I'd just be a little bit cautious about water going down in that gap, but that's beautiful how the TV raises up through here. But I don't know, I'd probably have, anyway, that's just me. I'd probably have something that just sort of slightly, you know, any moisture going that way to be redirected, but it wouldn't have that nice flush finish if it was that way. Anyway, coming through, got a lovely little foldy out table. Foldy outy table. Yeah, that also happens to go up and down. Yeah, which switch I can't find right now, but that's a little bit silly. There's beautiful Helm station here. Yeah, I'll just confirm that, telling me like it always does that these are aids to navigation, but it is your responsibility to navigate. As responsibility of the captain is always absolute. So coming up into this Helm here, I was really skeptical when I first sat here. I was like, okay, this house is just really high, and how am I going to get down the back to throw a line on? Because that's what I do. As an instructor, up to 70 feet, I do teach people how to dock their boats single-handed. So how am I going to do that? And then I was like, then the owner did this, and I thought, this is brilliant. So obviously you've got the windows, but what's even better is because you're at that sitting height here, you can simply flip your legs out and then you're out here and you've got access to the bow and the stern and you've got all that. Yeah? So, once again, and then as you go back in, you step in and here you are in your nice little spot, window up. Obviously it's the same on the other side, window on the other side, on the port side like this. Great view out the front. This boat having the D13s in it and being all the horsepower and getting up to 40 knots, which is absolutely redonkulous for a boat of 55 feet, is great. The hull position is good, great visibility here. Only criticism, only one slight criticism is that, just that I'm quite tall, but when you get up on the plane, that level of the windows there means you don't actually see out the back. So, yes, you can look out the side window and look down the back if you want. But if I was speccing one of these, I'd probably have a little camera on the back, reverse camera, so that even when I'm at plane, I can just have it in the corner of the screen here so that I can see what's coming up behind me. Yeah, you can stick your head out the window, yada, yada. The other thing too is, check this out. You've got this beautiful cabin up the roof up here with the sliding screens. They've all got sliding screens. But I found this out on day 2. How good's this? You can pop your head out here. You can actually look back that way behind you if it's not raining, and you can see well ahead of you. You can also talk to your crew from here if they're up on the bow, and probably yell at them in the back. But we don't yell at crew. Everything we do on boats is, when coming into berth, is what? Do you hear me say all the time? It's conversational volume and walking pace. If you're going any faster than that, or you're talking any louder than that, you go out and do it again. But then that slides up. Sorry guys, I digress. Squirrel. Anyway, beautiful screens at the front. Garmin system. Now what I really love about this is we've got all the Garmin system here. You've got all your management system. I haven't got the, I'll pop the drives on just for now, just so we can see. There we go. That's the inner engine noise. Not too bad. I've got the doors open, those windows open, it's a bit louder. So if there's a DPS button here, I press that button there, it means the boat will hold itself in station. Now, people call it Skyhook or whatever, but please be aware, pay attention to this warning here. When operating DPS, stay out of the water, propellers are speeding, read the owner's manual, hold on, prevent falls. The boat can move quite aggressively, especially if you've still drifting forward and you hit the DPS button. It's going to try and take you back to that spot. My advice is get the boat stationary, look forward and aft to the side to make sure that your boat is still in the water, then hit the DPS button. Okay, so yeah, please don't use DPS to go for a swim. You will end up as shark bait. Okay, so DPS button, awesome thing for when you're out there just outside the marina. You can push that button, you can go and set up your lines and tie things up and all that sort of stuff. But there are propellers moving, so just be a bit aware of that. So I'm just going to acknowledge that. That'll come up if you have a DPS. Everything on here, I've got this is my view here, which has got the engine temperatures, all that sort of thing. I've got the engine load in here as well, how much, all that sort of thing. We can go back to engine only. Oh, that's engine only. So I've got my view. So my view, I have engine load, so you can see it's idling at 20% engine load. Engine load's important, I feel, because engine load tells you where you should be. Like, people go, oh, the boat goes 40 knots. Yeah, 100% engine load. Like, 37 knots is enough at 90% engine load, 80%. So at 40% engine load, I was doing 21 knots and doing 5.5 litres per nautical mile. The average on that day was 7.5 litres per nautical mile, which is pretty good. But 5.5 for a 50-foot boat that's running D13s, that's pretty awesome. All right, so you've got other options here. You've got, if you're aware of Garmin, you can see all this lovely stuff, and you've got your Victron system. While that takes its time to build up, let's have a look at this. We've got a chart here, we've got a plotter, we've also got radar, all that sort of thing. Still getting familiar with the new Garmin system, but from the most point, I'm really liking it. But what I'm seeing here is no digital switching, which I actually prefer. You've got all the engine systems, you've got all the battery systems, you've got everything you need in here. The engine management system, all that sort of stuff is here. The data's here, the radar's here, the GPS is here. You've got another little screen down here, which is your Volvo Penta screen. I run the pilot off. We've been running the pilot off that. It's quite helpful, running the pilot off that, but you can also bring it up and do your whole My View thing, and you can put your My View down here. So at night, you've got your radar, you can put that up here, right? So you can put your radar back up here if you want. Overlay your radar, whatever you want to do. So then you've got some tank gauging here, which is just your basic sort of, well, not analog, it's digital, but it's your tank gauge. It's the moment we're full of fuel, empty of black water, and we've got a fairly full tank. Now, the other thing too is we've got a thruster here. Sorry, I haven't turned it on at the main switch, but bow thruster. What I like about this bow thruster is you can set proportional thrusters, so I can go 1, 2, and it can have just 2, so many RPMs of thrust, or I can take it back on this side, 1, 2, and I'll be pushing that way. I can cancel it out by that, or I can just use it as a standard bow thruster. Really like that function, especially when you're just trying to pin yourself to a wharf. You can just hold that one blast and just hold yourself there. All right, as you can work out, I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, so please don't slow me down, otherwise I'll forget what I'm doing. This here is your Humphrey system. Really liking that. They're just your sort of interceptors blade side. I have used this with the this way in automatic, yeah, which is so trim lateral, so from side to side. So if you look at the front of the boat, Gretz, so when the boat's going like this, so that way, that's on auto function. That's on auto function. I always use the other one just on manual function. So you can see I've got the manual function here, so I can bring it down and back up. It's my preference. I just prefer to be in control of that. Nose up, nose down. Laterally, I let the computer do it. That's fine. And find its own false horizon. But for this, I control that. Now this boat, because it's got that little bit of extra weight in it, yes, when we get up on the plane, we do run with a bit of positive trim down just to bring the nose down so we can see the horizon. Okay, so and you've got your anchor counter there. Right, along the bottom here, your overboard discharge pump. Obviously, we don't turn that on in Port Phillip Bay, and it's turned off because there's nowhere in Port Phillip Bay you're actually allowed to pump your black water out. Okay, you've got your little windscreen wipers there. You've got your spotlight there. Now, your spotlight obviously is only for docking. It is up on the mast. When you do turn it on, it is going to send a portion of light across the handrails at the front, which is going to reflect the light back at you. So obviously, it's for docking when you're in the marina, not for being out there, because you'll just cut down some of your night vision. But it is there, so it's spot flood, and you've got remote control. Your handy little VHF radio, absolute ripper, right there to hand. I like it. You've got your screen. Everything's there. It's not tucked away and hidden somewhere. Down below us, we have a VHF speaker as well, and we have a few other bits and pieces. Oh, your firefighting system's down here. Your firefighting monitoring system is just down here by my feet. Okie dokes. Let's go and have a look at some really fancy cabins.